Hi guys, it's Mandy. So I just wanted to make a quick observation this morning because it really kind of bothered me about the fact that how Elrond and a number of other elves seem to have short hair in this series. So I just wanted to make a quick observation. I just did a quick Google search to sort of see whether or not long hair in the Middle Ages had any sort of significance. And actually, it turns out that long hair was actually a status symbol, because obviously it being very difficult to maintain long hair, you actually had to have the wealth to have servants to groom your hair. So the elves cutting their hair short is actually them saying they're not actually rich enough to have long hair. So Elrond having his hair cut short, and I forget who the other one is, the other guy who's got short hair. There's the black elf, who actually technically he should have short hair because of the fact that he is a slave, because technically slaves had short hair because it was a symbol of their status to have short hair, because you couldn't maintain long hair if you were a slave. So he should really have short hair anyway, but I certainly don't think he should have a fade. That certainly wouldn't be something he had. He probably would have been completely clean shaven, if not anything. But Elrond and the other guy, they really should have long hair due to the fact that, like I said, it was actually a status symbol for men in the Middle Ages to have long hair. And so for an elf to cut his hair short would be actually them saying, I'm too poor to maintain my hair. I don't have the capability to look after my hair, so I have to cut it short. So you imagine Elrond and this other guy, they're meant to be lords, at least. You know, I don't know much about the actual status of Elrond and the other elves, but I can certainly say that they're at least lords, and they are wealthy, definitely very wealthy enough to have their hair long. So, yeah, I mean, even in the, when you actually look at the elves that serve the elves, even the elves that serve the elves have long hair. So even the servants of the elves are wealthy enough to actually maintain their hair. So what does that say to you? The elves all around them are pretty capable of maintaining themselves. And again, it's the status symbol states that every elf is pretty wealthy. So for elves to actually be cutting their hair short, it's actually quite an insult to the culture. So, I mean, you think about it, all the men in Lord of the Rings have long hair, or longish hair. I mean, the human men don't have as long hair as the elves do, but they still have longish hair. And obviously, you can see by the end of the trilogy that Aragorn, his hair, he washes his hair and he puts it up when he heads towards Mordor, because he now has the time and the resources to clean himself and have a bath and look after himself. He can actually look after himself. So he's actually able to, and you can actually see that even Faramir's hair is a little cleaner and more kept than Aragorn's hair during the battle scenes. His hair is a little bit ragged, but you can tell it's been cleaned more regularly than Aragorn's hair, which is greasy and not very well kept. His hair is cleaned when he gets to Rivendell, but as soon as he leaves Rivendell, between Rivendell and the rest of it, he's obviously not cleaning his hair, so his hair gets very greasy, and you can tell that he's not maintaining himself. So looking after hair is a huge indication of status and situation. And so again, like I said, for elves to be cutting their hair short is a huge red flag. So again, big mistake on Amazon's part to think it's cool to cut someone's hair short, because they don't seem to understand the significance of it. I mean, even in China and Japan, I think it's actually symbolic. To cut your hair short is actually an insult to your family. If you're more traditional, the hair, they all had long hair for significant reason, because it was actually considered a gift from your parents. So for you to cut your hair short was an insult to your family. So again, hair is very symbolic. If you cut your hair short, it can either mean insult or status loss, or possibly both. So again, elves with short hair is not cool. It's not cool because it takes away their status, it takes away their wealth, it takes away potential connection to family. For all we know, it could mean that as well. It could mean on a spiritual level, they consider their hair a gift from the gods. So for all we know, it could be forbidden. I don't know. Somebody out there probably does have a snippet of law that explains it. But to cut an elf's hair short, an elf like Elrond, is significantly insulting. For all we know, it could mean that they have just cut themselves off from their belief of their god. And we have to understand that there is obviously a god in this universe because they created the earth. And that's where Malkor and the elves came from. There is a god in this universe. So it was probably considered extremely bad to cut your hair in this universe. So it's a really bad idea for the elves to have cut their hair short. And it goes to show that the filmmakers, they did not hire actual historians to explain the significance of long hair in this time period. They just thought, oh, it's a made-up time period, therefore we can do whatever we want. No, no, no. Because it was based off history. All stories are based off historical periods, especially Lord of the Rings. It's based off medieval period. So how can you ignore the medieval styles and what the hair signifies? How can you ignore the history elements of it? I forget what channel I was watching. Someone made a very valid point about the fact that Tolkien said that he wanted to create a mythos that was verging on mythos, history, and fact, I think it was. I can't remember. There were 3 things that he said that he wanted to make his story founded on. And one was history, factual history. So for them to ignore the historical elements of this story is just, again, goes to show an extreme level of laziness. They've just watched the films and gone, oh, I know what the costumes should look like, but I don't want to have my men with long hair because it's not cool, you know, they're not manly enough. Either that, or I would imagine the actors were like, I'm not wearing a wig. And I'm going to simply say it. If an actor who is chosen to play a role, and they are chosen to play a role that requires them to wear makeup and a wig, and they say no to that, I say fire them. You should fire an actor if they refuse to do what they are hired to do. For example, if you hire an actor to play the Phantom of the Opera, and he refuses to wear makeup, fire his ass. I'm sorry, but you have to fire that guy because there is no reason why an actor should agree to play a role that requires a lot of makeup and then says, I don't want to wear makeup because my looks are far too important. It's far too important for the world to see my beautiful face than it is for me to portray the Phantom of the Opera correctly. If you care more about your appearance than the character you're meant to be playing, you should not be an actor. You should be a model. Go and be a model. Stop wasting everyone's time. Anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. It's very early in the morning, so I'm just waffling right now. So there you go, guys. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.